Open the meeting. Everyone's present. First item on the agenda. The 2024 permit application updates. Jack, I see you, closed, a single sheet for us.
Yeah, so I was, what I usually do is, when the new fiscal year comes, well, not fiscal year, new calendar year comes around, I like to see what other boards of health are doing with their permit applications, see if we
Right.
can add anything, see what we're looking for, what they're looking for.
Right,
And, I came across, one of them came across with, reasons for BOH permit denial, suspension and revocation. And I thought it'd be a good idea that we incorporate this into all of our permits for next year.
I absolutely loved
Mhm.
that, because you know what? It covers every
It covers
single
everything.
thing, and it covers,
And it would be applied to all permits regardless of what type of permit it is.
right, I love it. You know, there's no questions, you know, they get this. And they say, oh,
Tom,
Yep, good with it. Great idea.
Alan?
Yeah, no, I'm on board. I guess it's about time we spell it out in plain English for them.
Right, that's what I figured.
apparently we have to.
We should say,
We better off.
Yeah.
should
And
we
then
say
there's no-
welcome to Jason?
Good evening, Jason.
Good
evening,
evening,
Jason.
Jason.
Good evening. Did you guys start at 6:30? Or
Started at
you guys?
7.
Okay, great.
Get started.
You're not late
No.
1 second.
All right, thank you.
All right, so is there like a motion that I need to
Mhm.
put this incorporated into all permanent applications?
Yep, I'll make a motion that we incorporate the reasons for Board of Health denial, suspension, and revocation to our rules and regulations.
Permanent applications?
Yep.
I'll second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Yeah, I love
Thank you,
that.
Jack. All right, next item on the agenda is to update our tobacco regulations. And again, Jack has provided us with a printout, and the new information is highlighted in blue. Any comments?
Love that too. Did you know that cigars also cause bladder cancer?
Mhm.
You know, that's what, every time when I'm playing golf at the golf course, I'll say that, you know, that's gonna give you bladder cancer. And they look at me like, what? Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm. Yep.
But it doesn't stop them. Let me just say that.
No.
Again, it's been over 5 years since the Mendon has adopted their tobacco regulations. And again, with new state laws have been imposed regarding flavored tobacco, e-cigarettes and vaping. Again, so I just want to give you a copy of what other community towns are doing in the collaborative. That is the copy you have that I've highlighted in blue compared to the current
Yeah.
tobacco regulations of 2017 from the Mendon Board of Health.
Yeah.
And just so, it doesn't have to be like obviously done tonight, but give you guys some time to,
Well, I've gone
Review
through
that.
it.
oh, you gone through everything?
Everything, yeah.
Somebody didn't have any plans this weekend.
No, I did it while I was doing my tomatoes, and, you know, you got a lot of downtime in that
Yeah.
tomato business. Oh, yeah, I did.
For multitasking.
Yes, that's multitasking, like you have to do. But yeah, I thought it all made sense to me, and, you know, I didn't realize though that the age was 21.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You know, because I think back in the day, it was like 18, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, Mendon
back-
came
I'm
in
back in
kind
the
of
day
early.
here. What?
Mendon came in kind of early to the age being raised to 21.
Yeah.
State. AJ was a big proponent of getting these adopted originally.
I just didn't, you know, I just thought it was 18, because I think, as I said, back in the day, as the kids said, was that back in the day? Yes. Back in the day, it was 18, right?
Yes.
Right, yeah.
Yes.
So I'm thinking, did I fall off the nut tree here or whatever. Yeah, but I think that's great, you know.
Hey, Alan, do you remember the gentleman that came forward, was really a big proponent of the push throughout the state? The doctor?
I don't remember. I believe he was a pediatrician though.
Yeah, that's correct. Okay.
And I believe he retired. He announced his retirement within the last 2 years, but he was staying on a little longer.
Is he out
Um,
of Needham? That ring a bell?
something like that. But he was awesome.
Yeah, he was a huge advocate, and what I always remembered was he presented something to me that I didn't realize when you think about it. What we have, the different things like this, smoking and other things that can affect individuals. They start too young, and the idea of going from 18 to 21, you're trying to balance that with some of the other things that we allow people to do at 18, right? And one of the things he had said was that, and this has been scientifically proven, that the average person's mind actually doesn't mature until actually like the mid-20s.
Especially
25.
boys.
Yep.
Thank you very much.
No, it's
No, it's the
But
truth.
you're absolutely true.
It is,
This-
yeah.
I mean, you're absolutely correct. It is,
I am true as well.
yeah, you are, yeah, yeah, boys, we're always lacking behind. But I always thought that, that statement really stuck with me throughout in helping me make my decision,
Mhm.
to want to go
All right.
21, because this, there was the argument of, well, we allow,
Them to drive.
individuals to drive, to have a license, to vote, to, in some cases, have arms.
Mhm.
Right.
So, but when he mentioned that, it's like, yeah, I mean, which only goes kind of, in my mind, I thought, geez, are there other things really that we're asking our youth to make decisions on, if really scientifically, if our brains don't really mature until later in life? Should there be other things, but that's neither here or there. So that was one of the things that I always remembered, which is why I kind of voted for the 21. The only one element about that I will say is that, if you recall, we only had the Menin Board of Health involved, and one of the things here was to try to keep it, the high school, where you have all the classmates maybe supplying the younger ones, and the high school is actually located in Upton.
Hmm.
And I think back, we probably should have tried to maybe connect more with the BOH in Upton to try to make it a group, a team approach, but nonetheless, I mean, we did what we did. I thought it was a good decision.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, there were only a handful of towns that came that instituted this before us. It was relatively new at the time, and the hopes were that eventually the state was going to follow, and obviously they did.
Yep. Yep.
So we were in the forefront there.
Yeah,
Yeah, good.
pioneers.
Yeah. Well, that's what it takes, to get things going. The other thing that's scary to me is the vaping,
Mhm.
Yeah.
Well, isn't the flavored vape, hasn't that been prohibited in Mass?
Correct.
Okay. So I think that was an effort to try to deter the younger people from even getting involved in it. Anything else on this? Or do we want to review it? Do we want to vote to include it now? And then where this is a regulation,
Thank you. I was gonna
Yep.
say, I was hoping you're gonna go that way.
Yep.
yeah, and we're amending it, do we have to have a public forum?
I believe we do.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, I was actually going to say, I didn't think so. Once the regulation itself has been approved, I don't believe that anytime you want to make an amendment, that you need to do a public hearing every time. I could be wrong. And I don't know if Jason might have a thought on that. But.
Yeah, I
didn't
don't
think-
know the answer to that question. I think it's a contextual one. I think it depends on what you're changing inside the regulation. And I think if you're adding new products, then you probably have to take that to public, but you're gonna have to check with council.
Well, what I would say, maybe we should just kind of check into it a little bit and see if we can get a confirmation from council that Jason suggested and just validate, what our allowance is as a board to do any kind of amendment to an already established and,
Right.
approved regulation.
Mhm.
Because the new things, the blue things are the new things, but they're consistent with, the old things, basically. It's just like it's talking about like the flavored tobacco products all of a sudden, that they're doing all that stuff. So, I mean, but I don't know.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
I would say the biggest thing would be if we were trying to change the age again on when you can legally purchase, that would definitely draw some attention. These are more more minute details to the existing reg, but I would say based on what I'm hearing, it wouldn't hurt to forward this right to legal, and they can give us their opinion as to whether we can just adopt this at a meeting or if we need to have a public hearing.
Yeah, then once you get that answer, you can sort of add that to your own policies and procedures workbook for the Board of Health for, people who come after need to make the same changes.
Right.
And I think once we get that answer, and I believe that it probably will be a public hearing, just so that we notify the vendors of the changes, and then would also have to send them a letter with the new regulations to advise them of them as well.
Right.
All right, so at this time, we'll seek the advice of council as to the procedure to adopt these.
Okay.
Very good, thank you. Moving on. Jack provided us with another handout labeled number 3. Go ahead, Jack, I like it.
I love it.
All right, so what I did was I created like a Board of Health brochure. It's a 4-panel brochure, basically that outlines some of the areas that BOH handles for the town.
Yep.
And I'm just thinking like putting these brochures at the senior center, the library, the town hall. And when I get the property transfers in from the assessor's office, mailing them out to the new residences, letting them know, hey, here's the
Yep.
Board of Health information. Here's what pertaining to your well water, your septic system, sharps disposal program, that type of thing. So I
Right.
just want to get your thoughts about that.
Love it.
So do I.
Yes, I do. So question.
Yeah,
just to-
no, once again, you're very gifted. I think maybe in addition, it wouldn't hurt to forward a copy to any of the local realtors.
Okay?
Oh, that's a great
Yeah,
idea.
absolutely,
Yeah.
Alan. Great idea.
What are you gonna say, Tom?
On the title on the front cover, so to speak.
Mhm.
Prevent, promote, protect. Was there any particular reason why that order was chosen?
That is how this is the public health logo
Okay.
all across the country, and that's what's usually underneath this logo itself, so I
That's
just
the
kept it there.
standard, it's affiliated with the logo.
Yeah.
Got it. That's awesome. Very good, Jack.
Or else too, I was thinking, when residents come in to register to vote, maybe we give some to
That's a great idea.
town clerk's office,
Yeah,
and they can pass them out too.
Yeah.
yeah, that's a great idea. Love that
Yeah,
idea.
they come in to register their
Right.
Mhm.
kids and things like that. That is
Yep.
Yeah.
very good, Colleen. Thank you.
Clinics too, the flu clinics could be another,
I'm
Yeah,
sorry,
that's a
what?
good idea too.
right?
What'd you say?
The flu
Oh.
clinics.
At the flu.
In
clinic.
the,
Yeah,
When we do the training in the emergency preparedness,
yeah,
we can pass them out.
yeah, anywhere that you're going to be when
Yeah.
you're going to be,
Public, yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, to me, this is perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm always saying to people, when's the last time you tested your well? I mean, we test our well like every 3 years,
Mm-hmm.
because we're on the street. I've lost 3 wells to the town because they were all contaminated with salt.
Mm.
Yeah. But now I have, I had this wonderful, I have a well house. I don't know if you've been back.
Yeah.
And that, everybody that would come would say to me, oh my gosh, your tea is so wonderful. This is the best tea. What tea is this, And I'd say, no, it's just regular tea. I'm not a coffee drinker, so, I didn't make coffee about often, but, and I said, I think it's the water, because just drinking the water had a really good taste, it's just nice, like, and then they started salting the roads,
Mm-hmm.
bing, bam, boom.
Yep. No more nice water.
No, had to go, dig a 400 foot.
Yep.
But that was then, this is now. Do what you gotta do.
That's right.
Those cookies are delicious.
I'll eat 'em.
Mama, did you make those? cookies?
Yeah.
Really? Oh, they're delicious.
Tom, maybe you could trade some cookies for some, chicken palm.
See, now, if you were here in person, Alan, you could be savoring one of these delicious babies.
Hey,
Yeah.
I love cookies, but, I might be coming down with a cold and I didn't want to spread my germs.
Thank you.
Didn't want to cough on people.
Thank you for that. I appreciate that, because I have to go to a
Yeah.
wedding.
I'm hoping it's just allergies.
Yeah,
All right, if
yeah,
we're,
so I approve of this. Do we have to vote on using it? Do we have to do something like that?
Sure, why not?
Yeah.
Yeah, make it
Make it
official.
formal.
I make a motion that we incorporate this information package into our
Collaterals.
collaterals.
All right.
I'll second.
all in favor?
I,
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Jack.
and I loved how you have
Yeah.
a picture there.
Yeah, I know. Isn't that a nice picture?
Yeah.
It's a really nice picture. I know. I told him.
I mean it. Speaking of pictures, was I the only one that went up to BVT to have my picture taken?
I
I-
still have not heard back from Chief Kersey at all.
Did they
Okay.
throw it away?
Well, I hadn't made the original dates and I've been asking Jack and
Right,
he's put out the feelers, but we're not getting a response back.
right.
so
Well, I did go up there and have it done.
Oh, good. Nice.
Yeah.
Alan, did you go?
I did not.
Yeah, I had Jack reach out just to find out what the alternate dates might be,
Do you have it?
Oh,
No,
Oh, you
that's
don't have
what,
it yet?
no, that's what I was
Oh.
wondering, why I didn't get it. I thought, I didn't know whether Kersey was getting them or,
Oh, for the ID thing?
yeah.
Why don't you do it? We did with mine.
Yeah, we can do it in-house.
Yeah, Jack did mine.
You have yours on
All
you?
right, I'll go see Jack.
Yeah, come see me. I'll take a picture of you.
All right. Make sure you get my best side.
Of course.
I made him take it 5 times.
All
The
right.
guy that-
Uh,
The guy that took the pictures was,
oh, very good.
Oh, I have my password because I can't remember all of them. But it's in a little packet.
you don't have to open it.
No, to show you what I did for
Oh,
Colleen.
Yeah, it's what you're gonna get anywhere.
Right.
So basically, that's what I did for.
Yeah.
That's great. That's very good. I mean, you haven't really tried with the.
Tell me about it. I watch it and if I'm sitting there and he's zoomed,
Right.
cutting this and pasting that over there and putting this over here and
I know. It's like,
sometimes it makes me dizzy.
nice, cool.
and
Yeah,
I'm like, woo-hoo.
thanks.
All right, if we want to move on to the next item on the agenda. Colleen, you're up.
So, with regards to, 10 Northbridge Street, we received the pumping slip. The next slip is due on, October 11th. We reached out to the property owner and requested an update, with regards to engaging engineering services, and he has not responded yet. So, we'll keep on it, and, we'll keep the board updated on it. And, 40 North Avenue, his next pump and slip is due on the 11th as well. He did, like I said before, he put the fence around it, but he also brought in loom and loomed the whole area, and it really looks good. I didn't notice, that there was any breakout or anything.
Yeah.
And, we haven't received any complaints, so we'll continue to monitor it. But he also came in,
Mhm.
was it last week or the week before, I think?
Well,
Yeah, the week before, and he, like the, owner of, 10 Northbridge Street, really want to bring the property into compliance. It's
Right.
their absolute
So now,
intention.
does he has a cesspool on North Ave?
Yep.
So
Yep.
what does he have for a pumping tank? What is he pumping?
I mean, it's just too old.
Yeah, I know what,
Yeah, they're just,
okay, I was just wondering how.
right,
Right.
you know,
Yeah.
it's not even that.
Yeah,
It's what they did back.
yeah,
in the day.
I know, because how I got involved with the Board of Health was because when we bought our house. We had town, my husband and I both grew up in Uxbridge, we had town sewer. you know,
Yep.
So we didn't know anything, never heard anything about a septic system or anything like that. And, but we had this big thing, it was like as big as, the four of us, like
Yep,
all the way around like that. And it was huge. It had a big wooden cover on it, and so I said, do you think that's what's happening? That's where the sewer's going, And so then we knew that where it was going because it was running out in the yard.
Mhm.
So John Gibson, old John Gibson, who, the father, he was doing the pumping. And he said to me, "Oh, what do you do?" I said, "Well, I'm a nurse, but I'm an at-home mom." He said, "We need you on the Board of Health
Mhm.
because Mrs. Allaire, who was on the Board of Health before, got hit by a car and had a broken leg, and she didn't want to be on there anymore. And they thought they needed a nurse. They said, we need a nurse on there." And that was how I got on the Board of Health. But they were kind of sorry that they did that because when
No,
I get there the first day at the meeting, they hand me these plans. I'm like, what? You have to sign this. I said, I'm not signing that. They said, no, you have to. I said, no, I don't. I don't know what that is. I know nothing about that. It's not, I'm a nurse. I know all about nursing. I know about microbiology, but I don't know about these squiggly lines. They said, well, the town will put you to school, we'll send you to school. I said, really? So
sign me up.
I did.
Yep.
That's what I did. And I started right then. I went 2 nights a week until my son was going to college. My last adventure was at Harvard Graduate School
Wow.
for environmental engineering certification, which was because they didn't have a program at that point.
Wow,
Yeah. So
that's wonderful.
I just kept on going and just got this degree here. And I went to Central New England College. Well, I went first to Clark and I met Milton Rafelson. Did you know Milton Rafelson?
Mm-mm.
He was an attorney from Worcester. And he just took me up like I was his daughter, He
That's
was
nice.
My father's age. And the first thing he said to me, "Are you a lawyer?" I said, "No, I'm not a lawyer." He said, "You should be a lawyer." I said, "No, I'm a nurse. I'm not going to be a lawyer." So we did all the public health law. That was at Clark. And then he said to me, he said, Worcester Junior College. wanted to become a 4-year school, so it was, ended up being Central New England. So he said, you ought to go up there, because they had, nurses don't study botany, they don't, because that's what I was doing all that stuff. So I went up there. And then, like I said, by that time, my son was going to school, going to college, starting college. And somebody embezzled money from
Oh,
them.
wow.
Central New England. And they said and this was in April, they said if you had better than 3.5, we got your degree. So I did, and they did. Then boom, and then he called me and said, Milton Davidson, Harvard's having this program, certification program for environmental engineering. I want you to sign up.
Wow.
So I had to do it. You had to put your name in, and it was, so, that was 3 years, 3-year program.
So did you say
Fantastic.
you succeeded Mrs. Allaire?
Yeah,
Is that, would that be connected to Dave's family?
yeah, she lived down on Providence Road.
Yep.
Yeah.
Was that their mom?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah,
Okay.
she was a nurse.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Yeah, I know Dave and Dan and
back
Tommy
in the
very well.
day.
Yeah. Oh, awesome.
Yeah. But that's what happened, they said, oh, yeah, you can do it. Sorry about this digression.
On the
Wow, it
works.
was a lovely digression.
Yeah.
Sure,
totally.
we love history.
Yeah. With regards to 10 Northbridge Street too, I spoke with John Gibson, which you reminded me, and he told me that when he pumped it, he went through the lines and there was a lot of muck in there, and he
Yeah.
cleaned that all out, and he believed that that was also going to help the
Right,
system
keep it
too.
from-
Yeah. But we'll continue to monitor them and maintain contact with both owners. And like I said, both of them have been wonderful through the whole entire process.
Good.
Very good.
8 Cape Road, Danielle is going to schedule an inspection, a re-inspection, just to close it out. It's on her list of inspections, and then we can just close it out. Everything's been brought up into compliance, I should say. But just to get the official re-inspection so that we can close it out. So hopefully by the next meeting,
Right.
that will be done.
Now, remind me again, 8 Cape was which one now, the?
AK, remember there was supposedly cross metering with the electrical meter at the home?
And woman was taking care of it, the father.
No, that's 10.
No, that's another one.
So it's next door.
Yeah.
It's next door.
Sorry.
But do you remember the cross metering?
Okay, I didn't want to get the two.
No, it's right next door.
Okay, got it.
I did
Okay.
get the two.
With regards to 9 Blackstone Street, we've requested the most recent pest control reports from Milford Exterminating. Also, I reached out to Jackie. They're there on Wednesdays, and so Milford Exterminating has been very forthcoming with their reports, and I'm just waiting for an email response from Jackie, but we haven't, knock on wood,
Right.
we haven't received any other complaints
Good.
about it. I know that they were working on having Milford Exterminating go in and do a class on, clutter and what encourages bed bugs and things like
Right.
that.
Good.
So I followed up with Christina. I'm just waiting for her to get back to me.
And that one, is that one that had, I think at the last meeting you mentioned this and I didn't realize that there's actually a hoarding index?
Yes,
Is-
yep.
And how did that fall on the index? Is 1 to 10? Is that the?
She never gave me a number.
Okay.
She never gave me a number once I sent her the index, but
Oh.
and most of the times it's been my experience for them to remark about it.
Yeah.
That means that it was, worthy of
Looking
remarking
into,
about it, right? And those apartments, for them, they're small apartments and, they have everything that they have. A lot of times too, though, it's the visitors, one, from what I understand, one apartment, brought in a chair or a couch. It was a couch, and that was the trigger.
Oh,
And so they got rid of that, but they were already there.
yeah,
And so, then the 2 apartments, they're friendly. So they're back and forth. And then I guess the son of one of them brings his laundry in. So they were looking into all of that. When I spoke with Jackie, they were going to address that particular issue
Right,
with the, one of the residents, of one of those apartments.
because they have a central not central vacuum, central laundry, don't they?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
so that wouldn't be friendly.
Well, I don't think the son should be bringing his own
No,
laundry
he
to
should
the
not, no. that's
No,
very
and-
much-
rise apartments. to do
Yeah.
Laundry.
When they were going to address that with the resident
Yeah.
of Sunrise Apartments. And they did close down the, common area too, because, they found them in there as well, and they treated that whole entire area.
Yikes. That is so creepy.
Oh, blah.
Gives new meaning to creepy.
So Jody, from the Tobacco Alliance and myself will be starting our, educational component of the, compliance checks, probably the second week of October. So we're gonna go out and we're gonna go to each, store, inspect the store, make sure they have the proper signage and whatnot, update them on it, and now we'll have to discuss with them with regards to the tobacco regulations as well.
Right,
And once we complete that, so there's only 6 stores, so we can probably do that. I'd say within 2 weeks, and then there'll be the youth compliance checks will follow right after that.
good,
Cool.
good.
Yep.
Awesome.
Jack and I are working on preparing to offer Narcan training. We did a Narcan training last week, was it, Jack?
Yep.
In Blackstone at the library. Jack and I were talking about it. We're gonna do one here, probably up here.
Good.
We
Yeah,
looked
I
at
love that
reserving the
idea.
room.
Yeah,
The 24th.
24th?
Yep,
Of
the
October.
24th. So we're gonna send out an email to all the departments,
right,
invite them. Dan, who's one of our health inspectors, he is trained to do the presentation.
good.
And so we're gonna do that. We talked with Jeannie Ganadnik in Northbridge. She's gonna get us some additional kits. We'd like to give a kit to, each one of the schools, the library.
Yeah, I would think the school
Um,
nurses should.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah, for sure.
Unfortunately, but absolutely.
Yeah. I know, it's scary.
But we did it last week and it was good. It was a good presentation. You'd be surprised at how many can relate to it. And if just one kit, that one time saves that one person,
Right.
you know,
Yeah, I was just reading about that people could go and pick up them.
mhm.
I didn't know exactly where, I don't remember now where it said that where you could pick them up and to have them especially if you knew someone.
Well,
Oh,
in
God.
Uxbridge, Erin had, and I like this idea and I'm actually working on it and I'll work on it for Mendon as well, but putting a kiosk in the police station. I'm actually gonna go over and introduce myself to the police chief tomorrow, with regards to the query check form that we want to implement on the mobile food permits. So I was gonna talk to him about it then.
Right,
I was just gonna ask, speaking of the police department, for this demonstration, are they going to be engaged at all to?
They're already trained. We won't exclude them, but the police and fire department, they're already trained and they have them on
have
board
they-
already, but we absolutely will include them.
I didn't know if anyone would want like a representative just for any kind of questions or just having a presence as part of the process to have somebody like that. And
I'll run it by them.
yeah, see what they think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
what day is
absolutely.
it? What's the day?
October 24th?
Yeah, what's the day?
It's
Wednesday?
Tuesday,
Tuesday?
Tuesday, because
Oh,
that's.
good.
Yeah,
Tuesday.
that's right. Yeah, that's right.
My day.
Yeah.
What?
That's my free day.
It's
Oh,
free
good.
day? Well, it's not gonna be
Good.
free that
Well,
day.
That's
Not
good.
anymore.
No, well, I love that.
Yeah.
You know, that's right up my alley, so.
Yep. Yep, so we're gonna have it up here and we look forward to presenting it and to also be able to offer the Narcan in the town of
Right.
Mendon.
Yeah,
Awesome.
yeah, because I mean, there is so much.
Mm-hmm.
of-
Even we're gonna give one to the senior center, because even, sometimes you get confused, oh, did I take my pill? And then, yeah, I'll take it, and then you have a problem.
Well, you probably also have situations where children are at home
Absolutely.
seniors, children who have maybe some issues, and
Right.
you never know when that moment could arise, and that parent could maybe jump in and help.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing, the idea with like the kiosk too, is that if, you know, a parent is, you know, suspects that maybe their child may be, you know,
Using,
right, and they're concerned for it, you know, they could come down and get one from the kiosk and have it in the house. And like I said, if you, you know,
Yep.
you say it that one time and you say, you know,
yeah,
that's what it's all about.
Oh, thank you, Colleen. That's excellent.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. So, and then the other, I went down and introduced myself to Amy in the senior center
oh, yeah,
and spoke to her about the different things that the board could assist them with regards to the senior center. And, one of the things that we're gonna do is, September, is Emergency Preparedness Month. So we're preparing an emergency preparedness demonstration. And we just did one today in Blackstone at the senior center, and the seniors loved it. So we have the bags, and in those bags, we're going to put non-perishable items, you know, bottles of water. We had can of soup in there. We had paper. We had pen in there, a flashlight. On the bags themselves that we have, they have a list of the things that you should include, and the bag is waterproof. So like your license, your medications and things like
Right.
that, and you put it in the
Yeah.
bag and you zip it. So now it's waterproof,
right,
and they'll have it. Dan did the presentation. He did an excellent job. We have brochures that tell you how to assemble a kit. This, like what we gave in the kit was basic, you know, some crackers, a granola bar type of thing.
yep,
But then Dan went into like what else you should have in your bags. And we have a brochure, because of course you're talking and you're trying to write it down and you're not going to remember, but we have a brochure that we got, and it tells you, spells out all the things that
Like,
you
so
should
you're
have
not having that
prepared
bag,
for
right,
yourself.
yeah.
So I spoke
Great.
with Amy about it, and they're gonna do a demonstration there with the fire department for because October is, you know, fire awareness. So we're gonna kind of piggyback with them, and we're gonna do this emergency preparedness
Good.
demonstration.
Good, I love it.
Awesome.
Yep. So that's something else that
And
Jack and I are
is
working on.
what was the date for that?
the 7th.
7th?
Yep, the 7th of November at 11 o'clock at the senior center.
What day is that?
Tuesday? Mm. I know,
November 7th is a Tuesday.
yeah, I thought so.
You guys are working right up my alley.
Well, I got another.
Well,
Tuesday
now that
coming
we
in.
know that Tuesday's your free day, it's not gonna be free anymore.
So that'll probably be what, be in the, like in the morning hours?
11 o'clock,
11.
yep. But we did the demonstration today, and they were so appreciative,
Yeah,
you know, so appreciative. And it's great education too,
right,
great
Yeah.
education.
right,
So those are the things that we're working on right now.
good.
Plus the flu clinics, we have the flu clinics scheduled.
Busy hands are happy hands.
That's right. Anything more on your list?
On the, one question on the flu clinics, so we thought about using the signage at all that public safety has for any kind of?
Yeah, it's gonna be down by the DPW.
It will be, okay, cool. Awesome.
No more on your list?
Oh, sorry,
No,
no.
fine.
I'm done.
All done, all done, Alan.
Awesome. No,
Well
I
done.
I think when I think of Colleen now, I'm gonna think of value added.
That's right.
No, this is dynamite. You know, this, you know, these little programs
Mhm.
add a lot of value to, you know, being a Mendon resident.
Mhm.
So thank you very much. This is a good shot in the arm. I like it.
Always surprising to me about how many people don't know so many things, you know,
Mhm.
Yes.
have no clue.
But it's also important too you know, to establish that interpersonal relationship
Yep.
so that
You
if
don't
there
are
is a
afraid to
question.
call.
Exactly. that's the whole, that's the goal. I mean, it's wonderful to, you know, have these presentations, whatnot, but it's more important to establish that relationship,
Yeah.
you know, so that if they do have a question, if they do have a concern, oh, I know, I can call Colleen, I can call Jack, Joyce, Tom, Alan, you know, I mean, that they have that
Right,
comfortableness.
That's right, and that's
That's-
what you need.
That's
what you
right.
want.
That's a job well done.
That's good.
Yeah.
All right. Next item, did everybody have an opportunity to go through the, meeting minutes that we need to vote
Yes.
on?
I did.
Yep, I did
Good.
too.
Yeah, I went through them. I didn't see any issues. Someone want to make a motion? We have 4 dates.
I'll make the motion to accept the meeting minutes for November 2nd, 2022, November 16th, 2022, November 29th, 2022, and December 14th, 2022.
I'll second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Excellent, thank you. Topics not anticipated. I have just one comment. I don't know if anybody else has anything.
Well, since you're the chairman, you go ahead and I'll go after you.
All right. I did meet with the representative from Atlas down at the old Mendon landfill.
The day that it was pouring rain,
Yeah.
Even though it was raining,
good for you.
gentleman was awesome. His first name is Mark. He lives up in the I believe the Templeton area of the state, but he was excellent. He pointed out where all the monitoring wells were. He explained to me, you know, there's 2 different wells at each site, and they're for 2 different things. And he's been coming out there for quite a while. I can't remember how long, but so he's very familiar with it. You know, he knows where all the wells are, even the ones that are hidden by some brush. So it was excellent. I was, now when we talk about it, I have a picture of the property in my mind.
So in total, Alan, how many wells total did you
Oh,
identify?
geez. There were
6?
quite a few. There had to be, yeah, there had to be at least half a dozen areas.
Yep.
They were going in, as soon as you go past that house that has frontage on Bellingham Street, there's 2 right there on the left.
Going up the driveway?
Yeah, going up the driveway towards the house.
Yeah.
And as you go towards the house, there's another 2 that are hidden by a little bit of brush. And then as you go further towards the house, if you look to the left, there's a big clearing. There's a couple more out there. And then when you look to the right of the house, not too far from the house, there's a couple more there. So there could be 4, 5, 6 locations.
Right.
And there's 2 wells per location, is the way I understand it. They're
Okay.
probably about 4 feet tall. And they're that height on purpose so that when the field is cut, they shouldn't be disturbed. Although the gentleman told me that sometimes they get, you know, whacked anyway. But they right now they're very easy to see.
Awesome.
Yeah,
But it was nice to
As
know
I
that he's been on
recall.
this job for a while.
yeah.
So he was, so is he connected with, will he stay connected? Because I know that the overall management is supposed to shift from the Rhode Island office to the Springfield office, I believe.
Yeah, this guy is strictly in the field. His title is Environmental Scientist Senior Technician.
Okay,
But he's strictly a field guy.
so they'll continue using him in the process, even though we're kind of shifting offices.
Right, and this isn't the first time he's been to the site, so he's
Okay.
very familiar with it.
Yeah, yeah. I just didn't know if there'd be a shift of personnel because we're shifting offices.
I'm gonna
Yeah,
say
no,
no, because Jennifer Snee is the one that told me that was him that will be going out there.
Okay, excellent.
So I'm assuming that
It's
he
his.
works for her as well.
Got it. Okay, cool. Awesome.
So, for me, it was great to understand what's there because I hadn't been on that property since probably 1970, 72.
Wasn't even born yet.
Oh.
And what specific testing was he doing that day? Just out of curiosity? Was that gas monitoring?
I didn't stick around for the actual testing.
Okay,
One well is for gas. And the other well, I believe, is for, like, chemicals that might be in the water.
yep, okay.
I do
So-
want to believe that it was the gas analysis.
That was the purpose
was
of
being
that
done.
visit. Yeah, yeah. And do we know about the TPI or the actual inspection yet?
Nope,
So are they? I mean,
they have
they're-
all the paperwork. I guess DEP takes a long time to get paperwork processed.
Okay, so it's just a matter of waiting. So did they submit all their paperwork?
Yes,
to
they have.
DEP to
We
apply?
submitted everything to them. They submitted over to whoever needs to approve it.
Okay,
So it's just a waiting game now.
okay. Ultimately, probably Jim McQuaid, because I think,
Oh, really?
I think he heads that section, I believe. I was just curious.
Yeah.
Okay,
I can, pass the information on this business card on to Jack so he can have it, in his list of contacts.
Mhm.
Anything else?
All right, I did talk with the finance committee chairman for about the getting on their agenda about the revolving account for the trash services. And they have availability on their agenda for Tuesday, October 10th. Tuesday
Uh,
at 7 PM for the board.
Oh, brother.
So I don't know if that will work for the board to attend that meeting with the finance committee,
October 10th,
October 10th.
works for me.
Talk about the revolving account possibility.
well, we sort of have to go through all our accounts to kind of make sure that, remember I said there was one account that the name kind of doesn't really represent the account, in my opinion.
Mhm.
I think that's the one that we call Title V.
Yeah,
All right, so I'm looking here. So we have a meeting on the 11th.
correct.
Did they give us a time?
7 PM is their start time.
Okay. Um, I can't say that won't work for me. Do we need time to organize our thoughts? Do we need to put that on the agenda?
well, I think it's just a general discussion. I think, at least from my perspective, I think we know what we want to be looking to do.
Okay,
The question is, will we be able to do it?
okay, so this is sort of an exploratory discussion.
I believe so, yes.
Yeah,
Okay, and I guess what I've been forgetting is I've been saying that this is something that bothers me. I need to make sure that my board members feel that this is important for us to do also, and I think I've kind of neglected to ask that question.
I don't feel neglected.
What's the question? What's the question?
Well, the fact that unfortunately, some of the monies that we collect leave the department at the end of the year and get put into the general fund. And some of the monies that we collect, it's not taxpayer money, it's subscriber money. So if we retain that money in our accounts, that would allow us to either lower what we charge for trash, or it would lessen the blow when we know that every year things go up. Now, in reality, sometimes it might only be a matter of $2 or $3, but still, it's subscriber money that gets removed from our accounts at the end of the year. And it goes to pay general taxpayer bills. And I just don't think that's appropriate. I think it should stay in some form subscriber money. Plus the fact that the subscribers pay for the dumpsters that are all around the municipality and pay to tip them. We're paying to
didn't we
dispose
change
of that trash.
Oh, we did not? I thought we changed that.
Never got changed.
Never got
Discussion
Well-
came up.
Yeah, well, you know, we did discuss it and we got some pushback. And we need to be organized in our approach at trying to correct that. I think the other departments felt very threatened when it first came out, because I believe it was sort of leaked before we even had a prepared proposal. So they don't want to put any more strains on their budgets.
Yeah, hey.
Always comes down to money.
I
Right,
thought,
but
I thought that we talked about we talked about not doing it this year, this past year, but that it would be for 2024.
Right, well, we have
Striving
to
for
work on
something.
that.
Right.
Yeah,
There was a lot of logistical changes happening. You had the change in the town administrator happening, and so
Yeah.
I think that added to the
So
delay.
it doesn't make any sense to me, quite frankly, that we should be paying for the senior center's trash, the library's trash, the
Highway, library.
highway, the police department, anybody
park.
else's.
Yeah.
It should,
Department.
not, when I say we, I'm talking about we, the citizens,
The subscribers.
right? Yeah,
Well, the citizens in one way or another.
there's
Got
the
it.
ones that are subscribing for the trash, they're paying for the trash.
Well, the citizens in one way or another are gonna pay for it. Question is, what percentage of citizens? So Alan's point is right now, everything falls on the subscribers, which is, a good portion of
Yeah,
citizens, but it's
right.
not everyone. Versus
No,
just-
but it's the people that have paid for the trash. But why am I paying for the senior citizens trash?
No,
That's the question.
well, what I'm getting at is that ultimately, we're all gonna be paying for it. Ultimately, but
I understand that, but my point is,
Yeah.
why? Why are we all that are subscribing, paying to pick up
Alan,
trash?
No,
you don't have to raise your hand, Alan. You can just chime in anytime you want.
what I'm trying to say is, hang on a second, Alan, is, and to Alan's point, we just don't want to just see the subscribers only paying for that, because
Right.
it's, right, so the point being is that we just want to make sure it's evenly distributed amongst everybody in town, all
Right.
the taxpayers. That was the,
Well, yeah, all the taxpayers that are paying for for the senior citizen stuff, but I mean, it should be in their budget. See, your citizen budget, their budget should, their trash, their budget.
well, either that, or I could see, a centralized account that would account for trash recycle cost for all the departments, however they want to call it. If they don't, if the town chooses not to break it down by department that way, if they feel that maybe there's a better way to do it, but account for that in some way, shape or form.
But the-
Invoice them. That's
yeah, but the better way to
Is it-
do it is not to attach it to my,
right. If you were set up the revolving account and you invoice
and
them,
yours.
then those funds will go into the revolving
Yeah.
account.
Alan, go ahead.
I was very fortunate to be in the town hall and to talk to a former Board of Health member. And I was able to get some history on how this all happened. This was not done intentionally. This was a bargaining chip back when trash went from taxpayer money to subscriber money. When they went out for bid, when they picked a trash company, in order to get a little more for their money, they said, well, we'll go with you guys for the price that you've, offered us, but we need you to pick up the trash at all the municipal sites. And the trash company agreed. So that's how it happened. Again, it wasn't intentional. It wasn't to try to get someone else to pay for someone else's trash. It was a bargaining chip when this, well, it was new at the time. It's not new anymore. This method of subscriber paid trash was developed. So what I feel our responsibility is to, it could very well just be something that's done on the accounting side. There needs to be X number of dollars that gets shifted over to subscriber money. So there has to be X number of taxpayer dollars. Once a year, once a quarter, whatever the people that handle the money feel is the best way to do it. It needs to get shifted over to the subscriber side. So this is something that we need to work out with the finance committee. We need to work it out with the tax collector. We need to maybe even talk to the town accountant, which is a subcontractor, and find what the best method of doing it is. Because we're not just subscribers, we're taxpayers also. So it's all gonna shake out. It's just a matter of making sure that on the accounting side, it's not just being supported by the subscriber base, which is smaller than the taxpayer base.
Which is what's happening now. Mhm.
Correct.
Colleen has an interesting suggestion that actually may be the most simplest and direct. Send every department a bill.
Right,
If when we discuss it with the appropriate departments, if that's the best way of doing it, that's fine. You know, and the other thing that we need to do is in order to lessen the blow, and we've talked about this, we need to suggest some efficiencies. There may be dumpsters that are larger than they need to be on particular sites, and therefore they're inviting people to dump things in there that don't belong to us.
yep,
The Parks Department dumpsters should be secured when it's not park season. We shouldn't be paying to empty those dumpsters every month or every 2 weeks if Parks isn't open. And if the dumpsters are secured, that means illegal dumping can't take place. So there's some efficiencies that we can build in to save money before we get to the dollars and cents and accounting part of this whole thing. I think what happened when this discussion was leaked, the other departments were panicked because it was close to budget time. And that's why we backtracked a little, and we want to be prepared for the next budget cycle so that everybody can account for this and plan for it and know how it's going to get paid for. We just want to continue, my opinion. We just want to continue to give the subscribers the best value for their dollar that we can.
Well, it would be what's fair.
Right,
It's
right.
basically, it's coming down to what's fair is fair.
Right, I mean,
So it's-
they should be paying for their own trash,
and it
that's
may-
all, they
and
shouldn't
it-
be paying for the highway department trash. Or the senior citizen trash, even if a minimum of it, a portion of it, that I don't want to pay for that.
Well, in the end, as residents, we're all gonna pay for it, bottom line. But it's,
But not, bottom line, though, the bottom line is that we're not getting charged for their trash as subscribers.
as a
That's-
subscriber, Right.
Right, that's what I'm
So-
talking about. I don't care about, I know what you're saying,
Okay.
but I'm saying, as a subscriber, I don't want to be paying for that.
Okay, you should pay your fair
My
share.
bill, I want that bill that I get
Correct.
is just for what I'm doing.
That your portion.
And I
is
don't, yeah,
subscribed.
and I don't want to be paying for
Right.
the,
On the other end, as a taxpayer, you'll end
well,
up paying,
that's what.
you'll end up
But
paying.
that's
the-
a different story. That's me,
Well, no, that's-
everybody's pay.
It's not a different story. It's the same story. It's just another element of the story.
But the difference in the story is that it's being separated to
It's being
everybody.
distributed evenly.
Right.
That, and fairly.
Yeah,
So that's, to my point, that would be what fair is fair.
right,
That's what I mean by that.
right.
Yeah. So like you said, Alan, it just could be an accounting element.
Right, and there are other monies that we receive that don't necessarily stay within the Board of Health. The money that we get kicked in from the contract to help pay for hazardous waste day, things like that, those checks don't stay within the Board of Health if they get turned over to the tax collector. So like I said, I would like to kind of clean that up if we
Right,
can
I agree.
possibly clean it up. And it's not something that can be done maybe all at once. It might be something that we can get 30% of the way there this year and then 30% of the way there the following year. Because again, we might not all be subscribers, but we're all taxpayers.
Correct.
Right.
So,
However, the thing of it is the money that is coming in for Board of Health stuff should stay in the Board of Health's jurisdiction, shouldn't go to the general public jurisdiction.
well, agreed, especially if it's subscriber money. Okay, because subscriber money is very different than taxpayer money.
Well, I'm
It's
talking about, I'm not talking about that kind of money. I'm talking about the money that comes from doing different things that we get, as you said, that the money from the hazardous waste day thing.
Right,
Set
but
up
that
a-
hazardous waste day money comes from a contract that's paid for with subscriber money. That's why I think it should stay within the Board of
Correct.
Health realm.
Right.
There are other monies that we get that come from taxpayer money. The money that we use to pay the VNA, the money that we use to pay Colleen, pay Jack. That's taxpayer money. So
Right.
it's just a matter of separating the two so that we make sure that subscriber money doesn't get commingled with taxpayer money. And in the
Oh,
end,
oh. I was gonna say, all we're really talking about here is segmenting out the monies
Right.
that have to do with the trash program, separate from everything else. From everything else the Board of Health does. That's really the simple way of looking at it, and that's what
Right.
that's what we're looking to do.
yeah, absolutely. And we're looking for input from the different departments that handle the money
Well,
as to,
I'm not, well, I wouldn't be looking for input. I'd be looking for change.
Right, me too, me too.
I've already had enough input and conversation with a variety of people. So at
Mhm.
this point, I'm not looking for 30%, Alan. I want 100%.
Right,
all right,
You know, that's what
That's
I'd like
right,
to
me
see. We've
too.
had,
yep,
these conversations have been going on for a long time.
well, I agree. The last, it has to be 6 years ago now when we this sort of came to the surface. It was, way back before we got involved with Harvey the first time, when we were having the discussion and the town administrator was present. And we were told at that time by the town administrator, oh, no problem. And then it never went any further. So I agree. We've been well aware of this for a long time. And it seems every time we approach the subject, we sort of get pushed back a little bit. So that's why I wanted to have the discussion with the different departments that handle the money and see where we go from there.
but you don't think that we should start with the finance committee?
Oh, no, we should.
Okay.
Finance committee handles everyone's budget.
All right,
And that was the purpose of the reach out. So that'll be that, initial meeting, right?
So I'm good with that date if everybody else is, and we can present our case.
But as I understand it, the FinCom is only an advisory group.
Mhm.
They're not they can only advise, so.
right, but their
Hopefully-
purpose, hopefully, in being the advisory is because they have financial understanding and they're using their wisdom, so to speak. That's a good word. In making these kinds of decisions and how it would go. And it's not going to some frilly dilly and saying, well, oh no, we want to keep that money.
Well, I don't think it's that they want to keep the
No,
money.
no, no, you know what I'm saying, though.
I know, and
Yeah,
I think it's,
I'm thinking that we should take one step at a time.
well, and that's the first step. I believe that, it's just a matter of us making the case. And I think the case is there to be made, why it's a fair step. Why it's a fair adjustment to make.
You can consult with them. They're an advisory board only, really, who you really should be sitting down with and talking to and discussing, because it's all Massachusetts municipal law and what accounts are allowed, and if you meet the criteria to set up. So it's the town accountant that will advise you of those accounts and what the board wants to do. So with regards to a revolving account, you should discuss with her your concerns with regards to the subscriber money versus the taxpayer money, and at the end of the year are going into the general fund. So that's something that you should discuss also too. If the board ever, through the contracts like with Harvey or anything, receives any type of reimbursement, if the town accountant doesn't advise you necessarily as to a revolving account, which, I don't see, why it would not be advised, but there's also the possibility that you could establish a gift account. And you put the reimbursements that you receive through the Harvey contracts into that gift account, and then you can use those funds to offset or to enhance the trash service that you're offering now.
But those funds would have to then be considered under the control of the BOH as opposed to.
Board of Health only. Board of
Right.
Health would control it. And the thing is that unlike, the general fund, at the end of the year, you have to have a zero balance. That's just Mass municipal law. With the gift account and with the revolving account or even an enterprise account, in an enterprise account, you'd have retained earnings. So those earnings get rolled over to the next year. In a gift account, the same thing. Those funds stay there until the board votes to disperse those funds.
Well, we looked at the difference between revolving and enterprise
Mhm.
a little while back. And we felt that the reason an enterprise would not be appropriate in our case is simply because we don't have any assets. Unlike, say like the water department, they
Right.
have an enterprise account, but they have items that they have to potentially repair and replace. We don't have that, so we hire a company that basically provides a service. So the mechanism for an enterprise account was kind of ruled out.
Mhm.
So the belief would be that of revolving, although I like the idea of a gift that hadn't come up before.
Both of those are, is something that maybe you should vet out with the town accountant.
Right.
And then discuss it with the FinCom, absolutely,
Right.
because they are an advisory committee. I'm a fellow FinCom member myself for 19 years, and I can tell
Yeah,
you
okay.
that I would probably ask if you had discussed it with the town accountant first.
Yeah, okay,
Alan?
okay.
I think the reason that I thought of the finance committee first was a number of years ago, the Board of Health met with the finance committee down at the senior center. And we had a bill, I believe it was for engineering, that went above and beyond what our annual budget was.
Hmm.
And we had money within the Board of Health, but the finance committee wanted us to take it out of another pocket to pay for it. So we had a meeting with them so that they could explain to us why they wanted to take it out of a different pocket. And Mike Maroli was the chairman at the time. And when we explained to him how engineering works, that especially at that period of time, there was, the state had granted people an extension on their, septic plans. They had like an additional 2 or 3 years
Yeah,
because,
the betterment program.
right, there was a building crunch at the time, and so those plans had a longer life than the 3-year general lifespan. So you could have collected monies when those plans were first submitted, but you're not paying the engineer until 5 years later. So if a lot of those came in all at once, it would overtax our engineering account, what we had budgeted for it. So when this came to light, that's when Mike Maroli suggested that we have a revolving account. And we're all looking at each other like, we've been asking for these things and we keep getting turned down. So that's why I thought of approaching the finance committee first, was only because they seem to be the ones that the light bulb went on. Yeah, gee, this is wrong. This is a wrong way of doing things. So eventually we got a revolving account for engineering fees, but then nobody put any money in it. It took a couple of years to get money in it. And there is a cap on it. I think it's 25,000 maybe.
Yep.
Yes.
All right, so at the end of the year, if there's more than 25,000 in it, that overage gets removed and
Right.
put in the general fund. And that's fine. Because the 25,000 is workable. And when it's not workable, we'll ask to have that limit raised.
Yeah, I don't think we've ever broached the limit yet.
Is it strictly for engineering, only for engineering, this revolving account? Because if it's not, then you can use that account.
It's
Well,
strictly for Title V.
Oh, strictly for title,
Yeah.
okay.
Right, and I don't like the title of that account. I don't, because engineering is more than Title V.
I think we changed it.
Oh, I didn't know we did.
I thought for the last budget cycle, we made a change in that format.
I didn't tweak it.
You didn't?
I think
It
it's
was-
still called Title V revolving
No,
account.
no, he's thinking engineering, the term engineering. I thought we were.
Oh, yeah, we're not doing, we still have the engineering line item, but we're using the Title V account. Like I did not touch the money in the engineering account.
We still calling it an engineering account?
I left it alone because they told me to leave it alone, so I left it alone.
Because you were told to leave it.
Yes, yes.
Okay, so we made an attempt at changing it, but we were advised not to apparently.
Okay, so the Title V account that we have, that's a revolving account with a maximum of $25,000 in it, we're allowed to pay engineering fees out of that.
That is correct.
Then I guess we can leave that alone.
Yes, anything that Steve Donatelli and Tom Ryder sent an invoice for, I use the Title V revolving account. And any plans that come in and checks come in for those plans, that's what I deposit into is the Title V account.
Okay, so what do we do with the engineering account?
I was told to leave it alone. And so it's just staying right there. That money's just staying right there. So eventually that'll go back into the town's budget, general fund.
Okay, now when we do our budget, do we ask for money for engineering?
No,
Okay. So that money's just kind of hung up there right now.
correct.
And I think, as I recall, we don't know where that money, you
Well,
saw
actually-
a balance in there, but we didn't know where it came from.
Well, and honestly, we took the contracting amount and the engineering amount, reallocated the money to create Colleen's position.
That's right.
Okay,
In order to support the salary,
right,
because
right.
we had already budgeted for it, so we didn't have to undo or redo the budget that we already came before the select board with.
Gotcha.
We already had the funds approved, so we used creative accounting and reallocated the monies to incorporate Colleen's position, to
Okay,
pay
and
for
that-
Colleen's position.
and we'll continue to do that?
Well, I think the line items, contracted services and engineering services will come off and Colleen's salary would go on.
Okay. Okay, so that'll be a natural attrition.
Correct.
Okay, all right, so that's fine then. We can leave that the way it is. But again, that's why I thought of approaching finance first, is because they're the ones that seem to get it 3, 4, 5 years ago when we had that discussion. And eventually, based on that discussion, we did get a revolving account. So I'm hoping this doesn't take as long.
Well, it's funny, we actually got that revolving account. We never knew we got it.
Well, right,
If you,
and there was no
if you
money in it.
recall.
Yeah, there was no money in it.
Right, well, they had, yeah, they actually created the account and then they had to go back after and actually apply an amount. So it was, I'm glad, very appreciative we ultimately got it.
Oh,
It has to go
absolutely.
to a Town meeting, right?
Yeah,
The
we-
account has to be established through a
That's
town
correct.
meeting,
Yeah.
right?
Right. And that's why we need to have these discussions now, because we
Yep.
want to make sure we get on the town warrant.
Right.
It seemed we were always doing these things, trying to do these things just before
Yeah.
the town meeting. So we were almost like the last one on the warrant. If we were able to get on the warrant, I want to make a preemptive strike.
Yep.
Good.
Absolutely.
So speaking of preemptive strike, Jason, I'd like to ask, what would be your insight or commentary to the discussion we just had? Anything? As a select board member?
That's a loaded question.
Yeah, you're putting them on.
I would say the warrant closes pretty soon. So anything that you might want to put on it, you should get in as soon as possible.
Yeah, I don't think we were targeting the STM. I think we were targeting the ATM.
Okay.
Yeah,
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 I
yes.
mean, the best way to make sure that that stuff runs smoothly is to just talk it past as many people as possible. So, yeah, you're just like with going to the finance committee to get advice. This you can do the same thing with the select board and the town administrator. Just get on the schedules and get those early draft items through as to discussion as soon as possible, so you can make sure you have the biggest chance of success at the town meeting.
So we get you in our pocket.
Well, I'm available to pat you on the back and tell you it's okay to move forward.
Yeah, no, do you understand the direction we're going in and why we feel as though subscriber money is getting used to pay things that taxpayer dollars should
I
be
mean,
used
I
for?
definitely agree that you should share, the burden needs to be shared for town services by all. I support that.
Yeah, it seems as though when this information gets out to other departments, they feel as though we're trying to pick their pockets. And that's not the case. We're just trying to, make sure that subscriber dollars pay for subscriber things so that we can, absorb the costs as they go up. And
Yeah,
unfortunately,
so you just want to make sure that language can be heard by, the people, everybody who's on a town committee that this is probably going to affect, right? So everybody, they're going to have an opinion. So you just want to bring it to them as early as possible, right? And make sure that seniors, Amy knows, and you go to you go to highway and talk to John, that you just get all the department heads involved with the language you're using so that they can feel comfortable supporting it. That's it.
the one thing I'll
Okay.
say about the highway department, because I've had this conversation in the past, is, and it's a valid point, what they collect is a little different than some of the other departments. And maybe the same could be said for parks, but they're picking up everybody
Well,
else's
right, and
trash.
you'll want to talk to
But
Parks
they're
and
not picking
Highway
up my
as well
trash.
about their
They're not.
thoughts.
They're not. I'm just saying, that was one of the discussion points that came up.
Right.
No, exactly. That's a good point, Jason. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's it. It's just about making sure that like people aren't surprised, so you don't have to just keep belaboring your point, especially at town meeting. You know how tough that can be in a public forum. So if that language can be clear and open and spread out amongst the people, the leaders in the town early enough, then I think, yeah, everybody will have an easy time passing that through, just because it's the fair thing to do.
All we need to do is create the BOH awareness campaign.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you guys seem to be doing a good job of promoting yourselves. So yeah, I think that you do need to keep doing that.
You're supposed to be patting us on the back. We're not supposed to pat ourselves.
Okay, so we're gonna attend that finance committee meeting on October 11th,
October 10th,
10th.
7
at
PM.
7 PM.
A Tuesday.
Joyce's free
Alright.
day.
Anything else, folks?
Want to bring up the rooster regulation?
Well, just one other thing I was talking to Jack about,
No, it's fine, it's fine.
no, nothing.
No,
major.
nothing bad.
Yeah. Remember a while back, I proposed something to the board about changing our purpose statement in the rooster regulation. I don't know, you might not have been on board at the time.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
was, yeah, yeah.
because I thought, the wording, when I relooked at it, I didn't think it totally captured what the purpose of the rooster regulation was for.
Okay,
So I had brought forth a suggested revision. And I believe we had voted as a board to accept it. So Jack's been trying to get connected with Ellen Gould at the agricultural, because the agricultural committee kind of shares in that
Right,
regulation. They're basically going to be our point people
right.
if something were to come up, right? But he's been unsuccessful in, getting a response. So what I didn't know is if either you or
Yeah.
Alan may have a direct line.
I do, yeah.
All right,
The Ellen?
Yeah, I will try that.
all right, thank you.
Yeah, that's all. Just because I like to kind of have that become officially changed,
Right.
but I want them to see it,
Yep,
make sure they're in agreement.
Yep.
That's all.
I'll have her call Jack.
Yeah, that works.
How's that work? Yeah.
Works for me.
Okay, great. Thank you.
You thought I was
All right.
just a pretty face.
anything else, folks?
I got nothing.
That's it. My
All
end.
right, that our next meeting is October 11th at 7.
There's a
That's correct.
possibility I may not make that one, just so you folks are aware.
And where are you going?
I have another meeting scheduled. But we'll see. I'll let you know as we get closer.
Yeah, we can work on the agenda if, there's an item that
Yes. So I was
It's
saying
too
to
hot-
Jack
too
is,
hot to handle.
I was gonna say, make all the hot items at night.
No. I was thinking the reverse.
Colleen, I give Colleen my proxy.
No, thank you.
All right, if we have nothing else, then we can have a motion to adjourn.
So move?
Motion. I second.
All in favor?
I,
Aye.
Aye. Thank you very much for everything that everybody does every day. I
you.
appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jason. Thank you, guests who attended.
Absolutely. Have a great night.
You
All
too.
right.
Thank
too.
you.
Good night.
Bye bye.
Night.